Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk with me, your host, Pop. And on this stream, we take a look at the world through an industrial point of view. You know, if you're in the trades, you see things a little differently than the average person. If you're the one that's building or maintaining, everything around us, all the infrastructure, everything, you tend to look at things a little differently. So we're going to try to do that in this stream. Look at things from a little different point of view. We'll go over some news of the week, see what's going on out there, which businesses are shutting down, which ones are starting up, where the jobs are. Are they going to be more? Are they going to be less? Are we in trouble? Well, we'll check that out. We'll also look at a few articles, especially ones that get submitted by you guys out there. So anybody that's submitted some articles, we're going to have a look and see what they're all about because it's something that's important to you. And we'll take a look at that. We'll also have a look and see how the shortage in the skilled trades is going. And then we'll look into accident investigation. This is always a big eye-opener for people. They don't realize how many people actually die on the job. And it's a lot. And then we'll get into something a little lighter. We'll get into picture time. Lots of pictures, videos, things I've been working on. And maybe some things that you haven't seen before. But before I get to all that, I just want to say hello to you, Ketha. Good to see you. You just woke up. It's early, like very early in the morning, but I'm glad you're joining me. It's hopefully will keep you entertained. And you went to bed right after you came home from work. I mean, I know that feeling before, coming home after a long shift, and you don't want to do anything except hit the old sack and just pass out for another 8 to 10 hours. I know what that's like. And the Comic Relief Crusader stopped by earlier just to wish me a good draw. He dropped a like, and he's having his stream right now. So we just stream at the same time, him and I. But he's a fellow Albertan, fellow patriot, and fellow streamer. Anyways, let's get along to the news. See what's going on with that. There we go. We go to a place called Plant Magazine. And that usually has some news that's worthy. I know this one's going to make me very angry to read, but I'm going to read it anyway. It says here, Canada invests nearly $4.5 million to support Quebec firms entering defense supply chains. So the federal government is giving money to Quebec. Big surprise. They do that all the time. That province gets so much money from the federal government, it's not even funny. Federal government is investing $4.5 million to help Quebec organizations support small and medium-sized enterprises looking to integrate into defense supply chains. Canada's Economic Development and Quebec regions announced the funding on April 13th, saying the investment will support coordinated services aimed at helping firms in manufacturing, aerospace, and transportation sectors meet requirements to participate in defense procurement opportunities in Canada and abroad. Aero Montréal, Propulsion Québec, and Sous-Traitance Industrielle Québec will share the funding and deliver services intended to improve business readiness and commercialization within defense markets. Steek is receiving $1.99 million to help manufacturing companies prepare for defense sector requirements. This is just to prepare. This isn't for anything else. Like, they're just giving them money for them to prepare. Okay. Aero Montreal and Propulsion Quebec will jointly receive $2.5 million to support commercialization efforts targeting defense opportunities in Canada and allied countries. The organizations will coordinate services to help integrate Quebec companies into defense supply chains, according to CED. The investment is part of federal commitments outlined in Budget 2025 to strengthen Canada's defense industrial base, including $6.6 billion over 5 years under the Defense Industrial Strategy. All I hear is government giving money to Quebec. That's all I see right here. Some little drink of after dinner tea, a little bit of peppermint tea. Moving on to the next one. Middle East conflict shows importance of Canadian energy exports. This is from the Scotiabank CEO. That's one of the banks here. We're going to strengthen Canada's defense like Moose armor. Yes, Godzillionaire. You know what? Don't mess with Moose, boy. They can really stomp you to the ground. How you doing? Good to see you there, big fella. And Aris, hey, wow, it's been a while. How you doing, Aris? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Speaking at the bank's annual meeting, Chief Executive Scott Thompson says the conflict has served as a reminder of how resources can be used as geopolitical tools and the importance of secure supplies. He says Canada is uniquely positioned as a reliable alternative source, putting a premium on the country's resources. This sings volumes because we still import oil from Saudi Arabia and all those other Middle Eastern countries, and we have it here. So somebody needs a slap up the side of the head. Why are you bringing in foreign oil when you have it right here in your own backyard? It's absolutely asinine. Who would have thought making your own energy was a great idea, especially in times of unrest? Yeah, exactly, Godzilla. But it's absolutely idiotic the way the Canadian government goes about doing it. Let's see. It says, Thompson also says free trade in North America is crucial in more fragmented multipolar world. Says the bank sees a renewal of Canada-United States-Mexico trade agreement as the most likely outcome of talks set for later this year. But that path to get there may not be linear. Thompson says the aim of trade talks would be to move quickly to reduce uncertainty as well as to deepen the relationships across the three countries. Even relatively modest increases in trade friction can have meaningful economic effects, slowing investment, disrupting supply chains, and raising costs, he said. This is especially true in sectors like manufacturing, machinery, and transportation equipment on all sides of the border that depend most on cross-border flows. And while Thompson has been pushing for more pipelines and energy exports, he says Scotiabank will soon release its first measurement of how its fossil fuel lending compares to low-emission sources like renewables. Also, don't call it fossil fuels. There's no proof that oil is made out of dinosaur bones. So I've yet to see that. Somebody has to prove me that it's not fossils that turn into oil. I'm very proud to share that we will disclose our energy supply ratio later this month, which will provide investors with clear insights into relative balance between our finance of low carbon and conventional energy supply. Last week, RBC confirmed it plans to release its energy supply ratio publicly after keeping its initial results last year internal. I wonder why that is. Why would you want to keep stuff away from the public? Maybe because it doesn't jive with what you're trying to sell them? All right, next up. Canada's largest automotive manufacturers launch a new industry association. Oh, okay. What's this going to do now? Hey, what's up, Gween? Over on the Twitch side, it's Gween. Gween's another streamer over on Twitch there. You guys should give him a check out. We always have a fun time when we're watching Infinite Metal. Let's get to the article, though. Honda Canada and Toyota Canada have announced the launch of the Pacific Manufacturing Association of Canada, a new industry association representing Canada's two largest automotive manufacturers. Oh, look, another association. I mean, mafia. Yeah. According to the companies, PMAC is intended to provide a platform for coordinated engagement between its members, including Honda, Toyota, and Japan-based automotive parts manufacturers with operations in Canada, and federal and provincial governments. The association will focus on policy issues affecting its members, including trade, automotive strategy, and manufacturing competitiveness. Honda and Toyota together accounted for more than 75% of all vehicles assembled in Canada in 2025. according to the companies, and employed more than 60% of the country's vehicle assembly workforce. The formation of PMAC reflects the current environment facing Canada's automotive sector, says Dave Jamieson, chair of PMAC and president and CEO of Honda Canada. Jamieson said the association will engage with governments on policy matters related to investment, employment, and supply chains affecting Honda and Toyota's Canadian operations. Tim Hollander, president of Toyota Motor Manufacturing and a member of PMAC's board, said the association brings together manufacturers and suppliers with long-standing production operations in Canada. Hollander said PMAC will work with governments and industry stakeholders on issues related to investment, supply chains, and manufacturing policy. Can you notice how they say assembled in Canada, not made in Canada? Yes. Yes. The parts come here and they're assembled. They're not made. Yeah, there's a big distinction. A lot of people miss out on the vocabulary or the wording that's being used. You have to choose your words carefully and really think what they're meaning. So when they say, "Oh yeah, it's assembled here," it's not made here. It's you just put the parts together. Brendan Sweeney has been appointed PMAC's inaugural president and CEO. Sweeney has previously led automotive and manufacturing research centers at McMaster University and Western University. According to the association, PMAC said Sweeney's role will include representing the association in discussions related to the federal automotive strategy and the Canada-United States-Mexico agreement. In addition to trade and federal automotive policy discussions, PMAC said it will focus on issues related to electric vehicles, greenhouse gas emissions, regulatory modernization, and manufacturing competitiveness. Yeah, okay, so they're in there with the electric vehicles and so-called greenhouse gas emissions. Yeah, okay. PMAC's inaugural board of directors includes Dave Jamieson, Cyril Demetris, Bob Curran, and Tim Hollander. Okay. They pull that scam in South Texas. It's assembled in the USA. Received from Mexico minus a bolt. Boom. Final assembly, USA. Yep. Yeah, pretty scummy, eh, Godzilla there? The way they pull that. I can't stand it myself. But people have to read carefully. I think that's it. That's it for news from Plant Magazine. Not too much. Not a very slow news day, I guess. But I do have, moving along, I do have what was sent to me by Fabric Folds, of all people. He sent me this thing on YouTube about China secretly take control of Alberta oil fields. That just might be clickbait or whatever. I didn't watch it because it was, I saw it too late. So I tried to find something on it. And I did find this from the Narwhal. This talks about how an oil and gas company just left behind an estimated $476 million cleanup bill in Alberta. This is where they abandon these wells. The companies go under. They can't pay for cleanup, and they just leave them. And see what it says here. A beleaguered oil and gas company has left a multi-million-dollar cleanup bill in Alberta. The Narwhal has learned. Experts worry at least some of that bill could ultimately be passed on to taxpayers, because of course it is, right? Last week, the Alberta Energy Regulator announced 4,000 wells, 383 facilities, and 2,121 pipeline segments previously owned by Long Run Exploration had officially become orphans, meaning they no longer have a legal or financial owner. The announcement did not specify a price tag for decommissioning or cleaning up any of the infrastructure. But in a sworn affidavit filed early last year, the total liability of Long Run's various assets was estimated at $476 million. That means the Orphan Well Association, which is funded by an annual levy on industry and spent just under $130 million decommissioning and cleaning up old oil and gas infrastructure last year, now has a huge new liability on its hands. In one court document, they're described as mammoth environmental liabilities. Hey, what's up, DJ Ronnie G? How you doing, DJ? Did you skip work again today, or are you just heading home? That's why you form an LLC, make your money leave a mess, file for bankruptcy, get off scot-free. They've learned it oh so well, though. According to the affidavit, Long Run's oil and gas infrastructure ended up as orphans after a 2024 deal with a Chinese company fell through. The deal would have seen all of Long Run's shares purchased for $22 million. It wasn't the first time the company had looked to Chinese investors when it faced financial troubles. In 2016, a financially struggling Long Run was purchased by Calgary Sino Energy Investment Corp., its sole voting shareholder. In some timeline, one of those orphan wells becomes... Yes. It's in Crime Alley. Where's the Joker? You're home sweet home. Hey, DJ, right on. Let's continue on here. David Kem, reached by phone at Calgary Sino Energy Investment Corp., told the Narwhal that Calgary Sino Energy is a holding company and most of its shareholders are in China. Actually, nobody calls, he said. I was surprised somebody called. That's because nobody knows. This is not a paywall. Oh, what the hell? Kem, who declined to share his title, said the company's investors in China were not familiar with the concept of environmental liability regulation. Yeah, I'm sure. That's why their country is so great, eh? Grabbing a seat. Alex Moore, welcome. How you doing? And Whoopa. It's Comrade Leader Whoopa Troopa has come in. And Veritax. Hey, everybody's coming in. Good to see you guys. Xi Quebec. That's right, Godzilla. Yeah. It's like, oh, they had no idea of environmental stuff. Yeah, you just do like they do in China and just let it all soak into the soil. That's why China has rivers that catch fire. Yeah, they sure do. But when they invested in Alberta oil and gas, as much of China's oil and gas industry is state-owned and private companies are not responsible for cleanup. As we can see. A lot of Chinese investors put money into Alberta before they fully understood environmental liability because there's no environmental liabilities in China. They are trapped by environmental liability. Said the Chinese shareholders have paid for their mistake and the blame rests on the original owners of Long Run. How can you blame the Chinese owner? How can you say, oh, you guys didn't take care of the orphan wells? They're the guys who lost the most, Kem said. They're the guys who lost all the money. Yeah, it was the original owners. Like, hunt those guys down. Bill Andrew, who was the chairman and chief executive of Long Run Exploration at the time of the sale, pushed back on Kem's assessment. They came in with their eyes wide open, he said by phone. They went through a 2 to 3 month due diligence process. He said, adding Long Run supplied well lists and information about all the company's working interests. We didn't sell them a pig in a poke. Whoopa, you remember when your friend saying when he was stationed in South Korea, the smog from China would cause air warnings? Oh, man. Yeah, that's why I don't know why everybody thinks it's so great there. It is not. Meanwhile, even before Long Run's assets were added to its inventory, the Orphan Well Association already had 4,200 wells on its list for decommissioning in Alberta. It's one swoop. It's a huge jump, University of Calgary law professor Sean Fluker said in an interview. It increasingly looks like very likely these liabilities will only ever be addressed with public money. Yeah, because what company wants to use their own money for environmental cleanup? There's no profit in it for them. So they're going to be like, oh, whoops, looks like we went bankrupt. Sorry, bye. But they have neon lights. That means it's good. Sure, Whoopa. Alberta's Orphan Well Association is a not-for-profit organization that is theoretically funded by industry in the form of an annual levy, but has received government grants in the past and gets an annual interest-free loan from taxpayers. And I'm sure they pay it back, right? I'm sure. Guys? Yeah, I didn't think so. All of these problems are the result of regulatory failure, Fluker said, describing the Orphan Well Association as an industry-funded insurance system never designed to handle anything close to the size of these sorts of assignments. Funding for the association set by the regulator and paid by industry in the form of an annual levy, he said, is wholly inadequate. Hey, what's up, B17? How you doing? Here in America, our power bills went up because we have to pay for the power bill of the AI data centers. Oh, yes. Yeah, those are great, aren't they? There's no reason to have all of those AI data centers. I don't get it. I don't need another video of somebody doing something that they never done before. In response to questions from the Narwhal, the Alberta Energy Regulator said by email it does not have any further information to provide regarding Long Run's total estimated liability. Yeah, Godzillionaire, don't forget the water bill for AI data centers. An unnamed spokesperson said the regulator uses tools within its liability management framework to ensure a company that takes over wells can eventually clean them up, and said it may impose terms and conditions to mitigate any ongoing risks and ensure regulatory obligations are met. Andrew, who had been in the oil and gas industry for 52 years, points to the increasing number of wells falling to the Orphan Well Association. You have to wonder who the hell was on top of them from the regulatory point of view, he said. Andrew says when he ran Long Run, he made sure the company stayed on top of sealing old wells every year, ensuring a percentage of older wells were decommissioned each year. Without AI data centers, Brandon can't generate videos of cats popping out of water faucets unless you can mechanically engineer cat plumbing. That's true. You've played Pragmatic. Can't trust those AI. Oh, B17, he's talking about Brandon, the anime guy. Watch him on Saturday mornings. It's a good time. Him and Clifton and whatever guest he has on. The upside of AI data centers is you can make $150K as a plumber or electrician working on those data centers. Welcome to Pop's Trades Talk. Yeah. We don't do TED Talks around here. We do trade talks. If you want to be a plumber or electrician, I am all for it. Anybody that wants to get into the trades, anybody that wants to learn it, I'm all for it. But go where the money is. Go where the money is. If it's, in the oil industry, then go there. If it's somewhere else where things are booming, then go there. But just get yourself a trade ticket. It'll help you out a lot. Andrew oversaw Long Run back when it was called Galleon Energy, and the company had a nasty reputation on Bay Street. Bay Street is the Canadian version of Wall Street. And with public investors, he said, under his watch, the company was refinanced and its name was changed to Long Run in 2012. In 2016, Long Run narrowly avoided financial ruin that year under Andrew's leadership. The company was sold to China-based Sino Energy Investment Corp in a $780 million deal that included a $100 million purchase price and an agreement to take on hundreds of millions of the company's debt. Trades Talk, the only place where the chat does not talk about trades talk while the streamer does. You're going into firefighting, EMS. It doesn't pay a lot, but someone has to do it. Good on you. That's a great vocation to go into, B17. Firefighting, EMS. Yep. Yeah, I agree. You're always going to be needed, and it's a good occupation. You got to be young, strong, healthy, and you're going into dangerous situations, but you're going to be trained up really well. Trade talk? Oh, I have a Haunter. Will anyone trade me a Kadabra? Yeah. I got I need a Haunter. Andrew told the Cyril the sale was the best option for the heavily indebted company. The alternative was grim. He said then the Canadian press reported at the time that Long Run had faced a net earnings loss of $305 million in the most recent third quarter. The banks were all over us. It was receivership or sell, Andrew told the Narwhal, adding the bank facilitated an introduction to the investors. So the bank introduced them to the investors. Okay. Kem with Calgary Sino Energy Investment Corp said the Chinese investors bought from a local guy, right from the local owner. Who's laughing? The previous owner, he said. They take the money and walk away. Andrew pushed back at that assessment. We didn't walk away. We sold the company, he said. And then you walked away after you sold the company. It's like you just brush your hands off and go, not my problem anymore. You guys are the owners. How much wiring and plumbing happen after year 5 in a data center? Don't forget, there's always maintenance to keep up with, Veritex, whether it's changing lights or plumbing or anything like that. Lots of HVAC as well. If you want to be an HVAC technician, you'll be rolling in the dough. Many don't grow to actual capacity. Okay. B17 wants to be on a calendar. That's where the big money is. Yeah, like I was saying, Godzilla, yeah, the maintenance on those things is be insane. Any industrial building with that kind of infrastructure has full-time support. It would have to. It would have to have full-time support for sure. Where we go? I did the best I could. I did as fair as I could be, he said. When we sold Long Run, we didn't sell it with a whole bunch of unpaid bills, he said, adding the company was up to date on what it owed to landowners and counties. To Kem, the big loser is the investors. They lost all their investment, Kem said, shareholders in China, who he said meets with annually. All their investment, $800 million, is gone. Their mistake is they should learn more about the system. According to Insolvency Insider Canada, Calgary Sino Energy is a holding company with no operation or assets other than its investments in Long Run. All of its shares are held by another company, Sino Energy Oil, which is based in the British Virgin Islands. Okay. Yeah, Godzilla, yeah, downtime equals major money. Maintenance staff, small price to pay. You have to always try to remind the management that too. It's like, listen, if I'm not running around, things are running well. But if I'm running around fixing things, your plant isn't running very well. Kem said the Chinese investors he works with are less interested in investing in Alberta oil and gas after seeing how it played out with Long Run. A lot of people lose money in Alberta, so I think they just say no more. They walk away. The Narwhal could not independently verify Kem's assertions. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to find who the investors are, if there is any at all. This is China, after all. Do you think their government lets people invest outside of their country? I don't know about that. Yeah, DJ. Brandon the anime guy. Cool fella. Sometimes shows kooky AI vids on Loki's Friday show and says this is why you can't afford GPUs. Yeah, it's all his fault. This machine makes $25K an hour. How much do you lose if you have to wait until tomorrow for a tech to come out? Less than your salary. Yes. Yep. Yeah, if you can... Yeah, if you have to wait 24 hours, there you go. $25,000 an hour. Woof, you're getting right up into hundreds of thousands, like, right away. In 2024, Long Run faced significant financial troubles again, attempted to secure its financial footing with an agreement with a Chinese-based company, Hikings Group, Shandong Jinyue International Trading Corporation. That would have seen Long Run shares purchased for $22 million, but the company faced challenges transferring money out of China due to regulations of the Chinese state Administration of Foreign Exchange. See? Government interference. But that's the Chinese government for you. They're always going to interfere. They always have to. That's communism for you. The state runs everything. You have nothing. In March 2025, Long Run entered into receivership. This is when the court-appointed third party acts as a custodian for a company facing serious financial troubles. Attempts to reach Long Run Exploration went unanswered. PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is its receiver, confirmed it is acting as manager of all current and future assets, undertakings, and properties of Long Run Exploration, but declined to comment further. Receivership proceedings are ongoing, and as such, PricewaterhouseCoopers does not publicly comment on aspects of active receivership proceedings in the media. All right. Any funds left over in Long Run's accounts must be put towards cleaning up its mess. The requirement stems from the Redwater decision in 2019 when the Supreme Court ruled the money left over from a bankrupt oil and gas company must be used to clean up the wells it left behind before other debts, including bank loans, were prioritized. Okay, so there's precedent then. Out as of February, the receiver noted it held approximately $26 million in its Long Run accounts compared to the hundreds of millions it estimated cost to clean up its mess. In March, it put $10 million of those funds towards cleanup. So that's one story about Chinese investment in the oil sands here, in the oil world of Alberta. This is from a place called Todayville, which I guess is in Red Deer, Alberta. That's halfway between Calgary and Edmonton. It's like sort of like a stopover, like a halfway point. Your GPO was 2K last year, which is already really high enough for a high-end GPU. Now it's 5,000. Wow, B17. That's a lot. Whew. Man, oh man, I can't do that for a GPU. DJ, you have hope that they'll overbuild data centers and prices will drop. Some people are overbuying. With HW thinking they'll get rich, but they have to let go when they fail in that endeavor. Oh, hardware. By buying hardware thinking they'll get rich. Yeah, it's the speculators that drive up the price, and then you just wait, and hopefully it bites them. But the DRAM's still kind of a messed up situation due to how much it's made for GPUs. HBM, high bandwidth RAM. It wastes normal RAM stock, basically. Okay. Because they stack the DRAM chips, and if one of 4 are bad, all are cooked from that unit. Oh! That sucks. All right, let's have a look here. Canada's embarrassing oil vulnerability exposed. The only G7 nation with no strategic petroleum reserve. Okay. In the midst of the 2026 U.S.-Israeli conflict with Iran, global oil prices have surged amid global supply shocks, prompting the International Energy Association to orchestrate its largest ever release of 400 million barrels from emergency reserves. Yet Canada, the world's 4th largest oil producer and a founding IEA member, finds itself scrambling. Without a national strategic petroleum reserve, the government is reduced to pleading with private oil companies to release commercial inventories and delay oil sands maintenance to boost short-term output. Even then, the slight increase in supplies is limited in effectiveness by lack of excess pipeline capacity. This is the government's fault, by the way. The Canadian government, I'm blaming them solely, pointing the finger right at them. For the past 10 years, with that idiot Trudeau and now idiot number 2, Carney, they are not letting us build any pipelines out of Alberta. They are delaying them, they're stopping them, they're blocking them. They are causing all this trouble. And on purpose. They are doing this on purpose. This ad hoc response underscores a glaring vulnerability. Canada is unable to reliably assist its allies in a time of global oil crisis, lacking a strategic petroleum reserve or sufficient pipeline capacity to move surge production and contribute meaningfully to shared emergency supplies. It is time for a real energy security strategy, one that learns from half a century of complacency and builds resilience against an unstable world. Well, build some more refineries here. We are shipping a lot of it to be refined in the U.S. and then sold back to us. So if we would build more refineries here to refine the oil here, then we would have that capacity they're talking about. But once again, the Canadian government is getting in the way. They're blocking too much of the things we need, like pipelines and building of refineries, for us to do that. Canada's exemption from the IEA's 90-day oil stockpile requirement dates back to 1974, when the agency was formed in response to the Arab oil embargo. As an emerging net exporter, buoyed by Alberta's growing production and prospects of Atlantic offshore developments, Canada negotiated an opt-out, arguing that ample spare pipeline capacity could enable emergency production surges to meet oil sharing obligations under the IEA's International Energy Program. This assumption held in the 1980s and 90s, when infrastructure like the interprovincial pipeline had a 20 to 30% excess capacity, allowing quick ramps in output from the Western Canada Sedimentary Basin. Key players included the Department of Energy, Mines and Resources, and the National Energy Board, projected this flexibility into the foreseeable future, prioritizing production over costly storage. But that spare capacity has vanished. Starting in the mid-2010s, bottlenecks emerged as production outpaced infrastructure. Projects like Keystone XL were delayed for years by regulatory hurdles and ultimately canceled in 2021 by the federal government, who was causing the regulatory hurdles, and the provincial governments. This is all government fault. While the Trans Mountain expansion faced endless reviews, finally completing in 2024 after a decade of setbacks and eventual government purchase of the asset. The government purchased it for billions and sold it for pennies on the dollar. So the stupid federal government, under the Liberals, Justin Moron, he purchased this Trans Mountain pipeline full price, and then they held on to it, and then they sold it for pennies on the dollar. So somebody's friend got a deal. That's all I can see happened there. Was somebody had a buddy, and they were like, okay, yeah, we can sell it here for pennies on a dollar. Here you go. These delays spanning over 15 years were driven largely by environmental and climate activists whose protests, lawsuits, and blockades. They were paid environmental and climate activists. They were paid by organizations to protest. Nobody can afford to go and protest for months on end without some way of supporting themselves. So they were paid. Such as the 2019 rail disruptions that caused propane shortages in Quebec and Atlantic Canada, highlighted how fragile Canada's logistics are and how redundancies are necessary. Did you see the tunnel in the UK that ended up spending £80 million on just studies? Cancelled project, not a single shovel ever touched. Oh, I didn't see that, Godzilla, but that doesn't surprise me. £80 million on just studying it. Somebody's buddy got rich. That's what it was. There's a friend of somebody in government, and they're like, hey, I have this company that does, we do studies. And they're like, here, we just need I need some money. Can you get me something to do? And yeah, here, do a couple studies for us on making a tunnel. Okay, thanks for the 80 million. Hey, it's Fabric Folds. What's up, Fabric? Sorry you're late. Had to pull out the 30 cal and oil it for the coming war, which I'll be calling the Great Mabel Chaposta War. No, really? Went to Costco and Billings and just finished on it. Nice. Yeah. Good old filling up on essentials from Costco. That's all right. Canada's boosting defense spending. Moose armor, I'm sure. Yeah, the old moose armor. Those things are mean. All right, where were we here? Compounding this, Canada has long dodged the expense of an SPR, estimated at billions for infrastructure, like underground salt caverns. In 1977-78 and in 1981, under Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, the dad of the idiot. This guy was a scumbag too. Pierre Trudeau. Officials floated a collaborative idea to the U.S. build part of their SPR in Canada in exchange for increased oil exports to the U.S. Midwest. Two different U.S. energy secretaries rebuffed the idea, not wanting to build part of the vital reserve in another country, not even Canada. The U.S. went on to amass an 800 million barrel SPR, while Canada leaned on its exporter status, leaving Eastern Canada import dependent and storage poor to rely on American tanks. Analysts and industry groups have warned that Eastern Canada is exposed to disruptions like rail strikes or geopolitical shocks because it has limited crude oil storage capacity and is increasingly dependent on American and other imports. I don't care. Eastern Canada, you guys can go to hell. Quebec, Ontario, I don't care. Good. I'm glad you guys don't have any way to store any kind of oil there. You guys are the ones that always vote in the government, the federal government, so it's up to you guys to suffer. Canada doesn't have the space for strategic oil reserves. No space here. The dad of the idiot, that's Fidel, not Pierre. Oh, right. Sorry, Whoopa, I forgot. If Red Green were still alive, Canuckistan would defeat us. Now, if they don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Second largest country in the world by geographic size says they can't store oil anywhere. Oh, it's they're being sarcastic, Ketha. Yeah, we do have lots of oil, but it's just that nobody made a place for it to be stored. They don't need oil, they just need electric. Yeah, oil sands, it's the fourth largest oil reserve in the world. It's just the government keeps it from being developed or being able to get any of it out of there. The East-West divide persists, but the real irony lies in crisis responses. We're constantly told the world is unstable. Pandemics, price wars, invasions. Yet every time a shock hits, net zero advocates dismiss calls for more pipelines or production capacity. During Russia's 22 invasion of Ukraine, which spiked global prices, they argued there's no point. The energy transition is accelerating and nothing can be built in time anyway. Fast forward to 2026 Iran crisis and the script repeats. Canada taps industry for voluntary surges while the IE draws from reserves elsewhere. Canada contributed 0 barrels to the 2022 release. But the transition is not accelerating as claimed. Renewables are being added. Yet oil and natural gas demand hits records. Why assume there is no more crises? As Robert Skinner, former Canadian representative to the IEA, aptly put in 2020, there are white swans that have yet been paddling around the pond for a long time. Predictable risks we ignore at our peril. Every form of power is electric. It all spins a turbine and powers a generator by boiling water. Yeah, or they use engines, like in natural gas plants. Natural gas is what they used to use coal-fired plants, but they got rid of those, and now it's natural gas-fired plants. So they'll use a natural gas engine to spin a turbine. Just call you. I can design those oil sand centrifuges all day long. We got to call on the kaiju and get him out there. Either that, or at least turn him loose for a rampage. You're apologetic, too autistic for sarcasm. Don't worry about it, Ketha. Welcome to the club. You'll fit right in. Nuclear power should be the future for cities. Hey, Godzilla, you want to answer to that? For B-17? Whoopa, the oil is being sent to fuel the great Wupstotskin war machines. Aye, yes, Comrade Whoopa. You know White Swan? Gotcha. All right, let's finish it off here. Canada is the only G7 nation without an SPR, a fact that's been drawing renewed scrutiny amid the current turmoil. 2008 report by Gordon Laxer Freezing in the dark proposed using Ontario's salt caverns for 31 million barrels to shield eastern Canadians. Feasible and cost-effective, as well as storage locations in all provinces that are dependent on imported oil. Yet Canada has dithered, favoring other spending and advancing net zero over real energy security. The Iran war could bolster calls for pipelines like another Pacific export route or extension to the Maritimes, enabling long-term growth. But without action, Canada will remain vulnerable. It is time for bold steps. Fast-track pipeline expansions to restore surge capacity and establish a Canadian SPR, perhaps starting with 90 days' worth for Eastern imports. In a world where energy underpins everything from food prices to national defense, this is about pragmatic resilience, not hydrocarbon favoritism. Energy security is national security. With crises mounting, delay is no longer an option. Let's strengthen Canada's energy security before the next white swan strikes. Yeah, do it. Do it. But it's the government. They're doing it on purpose. They're hurting their own people because they want to. People act like we'll run out of coal in my lifetime, like there isn't an entire layer of the earth that is just coal. I mean, yeah, but they don't burn it anymore because of all the pollution. They're switching over to natural gas, and natural gas is very plentiful. The problem is most of the morons in government are rich kid lawyers. They have never left the comfort of their gated community. Yes, that's for sure. Nuclear power is reserved for Wupstotska. Ah, yes. We must provide all to Comrade Leader. Only for our war machines, though. The squalid masses can use candles if they're lucky. You remember when Net Zero was an ISP with a free CD? Yep. Don't we all? We always would get those America Online CDs, which we couldn't use in Canada because it's America Online, not Canada Online. So it was just like, hey, look, coaster. What do we got here? What time we got? Oh. Well, we can skip this article now. Why don't we go to accident investigation? This is not good, guys. This is not good at all. Worker crushed by hydraulic equipment from January 2020. Okay, here we go. A worker sustained fatal injuries when crushed by hydraulic equipment on a drilling rig at an oil sands mine north of Fort McMurray. Once again, it seems appropriate. We were talking about a lot of oil and gas today. And, yeah. Al Gore hadn't expanded to Canada yet. Thank God. You don't want that clown up here. Yeah, Fabric bringing up the ancient texts. Speaking of ancient texts, how about the Microsoft Network? You guys remember that? Remember when that was out? I was on the Microsoft Network back in the day. Background information. The prime contractor, Syncrude Canada, was incorporated in 1964 and began operations 40 kilometers north of Fort McMurray in 1978. Syncrude operated a large oil sands mine, utilities plant, bitumen extraction plant, and upgrading facility that processed bitumen into lighter petroleum products for use domestically and for export. The Aurora mine site was located 75 kilometers north of Fort McMurray and began operating in 2001. Syncrude employed approximately 4,700 people at the time of the incident. Coal plants today aren't even close to the coal plants of the 1960s. Oh, I'd like to see that, Godzillionaire. I haven't really seen a coal plant in operation. Canada can't stop White Swan, especially when she gets into the wooski. There's no stopping White Swan. Al Gore hadn't expanded to Canada. Yep, MSN Messenger was kind of nice. Yeah, it was all right. Remember BattleNet for StarCraft? Yes, me too. What was that one, the green one? Was that Spynet? Do you guys remember Spynet? It was for some games they used it, and it was green, I remember. I think it was called Spynet. Might still have a CompuServe account. Or ICQ. Do you guys remember ICQ? That was great. That was a great chat app. Like, man, ICQ was really good. Employer was Cross Borders Consulting, family-owned and operated drilling company established in 1956. Cross Borders, an oil and gas drilling company that was registered as an Alberta corporation in 2006. Provided geotechnical and environmental services such as in-site testing and auger drilling, sonic drilling, mud rotary, and air rotary drilling. On August 24th, Syncrude and Cross Borders entered a contractual agreement for drilling services. Cross Borders had 150 employees and was drilling for core samples at Syncrude Aurora in the overburden area at the time of the incident. But your back doesn't hurt enough for this convo. That's okay. The floor hand was hired in October 2018 by Cross Borders as a sonic rig floor hand. The floor hand was signed off as a competent operator of the rod handler in December 2018 and was performing that role at the time of the incident. The driller had employed by Cross Borders since 2017. The driller had 4 years of sonic drill rig experience and was the leader of the crew on duty at the time of the incident. The driller was first witness on scene following the incident. Oh boy, here we go. The Bohrmeister rod handler was used as a hands-free method of delivering lengths of rod or pipe to the drill head assembly of the sonic rig. The lengths of pipe were held in a rotating pipe carousel and delivered to the drill head assembly by a rod clamp that was hydraulically controlled by an operator known as a floor hand. Using the operator's controls, the floor hand would rotate the carousel and drop a pipe onto the lifting skirt that included rollers that would advance the pipe towards the clamp. The clamp was then moved in against the carousel to facilitate attachment of the clamp to the pipe. The rod handler, so that's what Trudeau's up to these days. Yeah, I'm glad he's gone. But I hope something not nice happens to him. The pipe clamp contains jaws that can be opened or closed using the rod handler hydraulic controls to either grab or release a section of pipe. Once the jaws were closed onto the pipe, the floor hand would extend the clamp away from the carousel and rotate the clamp 90 degrees to the vertical position. The pipe was then vertical, and the driller would thread the drill head to the far end of the pipe. The clamp jaws of the rod handler were then opened to release the pipe, and the driller then proceeded to add that section of pipe down the hole. The floor hand would then return the clamp to the horizontal position and prepare to attach and deliver the next section of pipe to the driller. See if we can't get a better close-up here. A is pointing to the pipe or the rod. B is the carousel housing, that thing there. C is the lifting skirt, okay. And D is the pipe clamp. Okay, so there it is at the bottom. Okay. So that's the machine there. It just grabs onto the end of it and lifts it up into the air. It comes back down and grabs another one. Hey, Carl, how you doing? Guten Tag, Carl. Good to see you, man. Doing any door dashing right now? Gwen, speaking of junk to clean up in the future, just saw Starlink pass. Yeah, up there in the space junk, eh? Fabric, he's with Katy Perry, so he's rod handling. All right. All right, here's the sequence of events, fellas. On January 18th, 2020, the driller and floor hand conducted a pre-use inspection for the rod handler and completed the associated documentation. Under the pipe handler tripping out section of the Form .6, the crew mentioned that the advance of pipe to the clamp was not functioning, with a comment that the gears are stripped and won't rotate. Uh-oh. So they noted it. They made a note of that. Oh, the supervisor co-signed the document. All right. That's not good. This machine should have been tagged out or repaired or something, but they went ahead and used it anyway. Red flag number 1, guys. You know that. If you do your pre-shift inspection and you're checking stuff out and it's no good, you better get it repaired. It's going to come back to get you. Fabric, you never heard of hydraulics sound so etchy. Oh, you're not feeling the best today, Kyle? You're just playing games and lurking. Hey, that's sometimes you just need a little bit of playing games, relaxing, and do some lurking. Why not? I appreciate you here. MSN Messenger had bigger buddy icons. Well, that was an AIM AOL thing, buddy icons. Oh, okay. I didn't know about AOL buddy icons. Okay, on January 19th, the night shift crew arrived for their shift on Sonic Rig 701 at 6:45 p.m. The crew included a driller, floor hand, and a derrick hand. The night crew began work that night with the task of tripping rod out. This entailed attaching the drill head to the pipe that had been previously drilled into the borehole and removing it from the ground. The removed pipe was then taken by the rod handler and returned to the rod handler carousel. Upon completion of tripping out activities, the driller discovered that the core barrel was not attached to the bottom of the last section of drill pipe. The floor hand and driller commenced tripping pipe back into the hole to retrieve the missing core barrel. This process entailed removing pipe from the rod handler with the pipe clamp assembly and delivering the pipe up to the drill head where it could be drilled down the hole. During this activity, the driller left the driller's controls and went to the core shack to ask another worker to complete a field level hazard assessment for the upcoming task of a rig move. The floor hand stayed on the rig floor and continued to work, using the rod handler to have pipe in position for the driller upon their return. As the driller was returning from the core shack, approximately 20 meters away, it's about 60 feet, they heard the floor hand yell. The driller hurried to the rig floor and upon arrival saw the floor hand facing away from them, pinned between the pipe clamp and the carousel of the rod handler. The driller also noticed that the rod unloading from the carousel was crooked and that the floor hand's knee was stuck on the telescopic arm control lever that moved the clamp in towards the carousel. The driller moved the floor hand's leg off the telescopic arm control lever and released the pressure on the floor hand's back by pulling the lever and retracting the pipe clamp away from the carousel. The floor hand then fell to their knees. The driller used a cell phone to call for help. At that time, the floor hand was conscious but soon began to fall in and out of consciousness while waiting for emergency services personnel to arrive. Emergency services arrived at the remote incident location about half an hour later. The floor hand was pronounced deceased en route to the hospital. Oof. All right, what do we got here? A is the drill head. Yeah, okay. B is the jammed rod. Okay, there it is. Let's get a little closer in here. There's the jammed rod. What was C? C is the pipe clamp, and D is pipe mostly drilled down the hole. So C is the pipe clamp. Okay, there's the pipe clamp. And D, yeah, there's the pipe down the hole. There's the control levers. The telescopic arm lever is right there. So there's the controls. A, the crush point between the rod carousel and the rod clamp, right there. Yeah, Sonic tried to go faster. Yeah, Fabric, geez. Tripping out activities. What is this? Cheech and Chong? I'm tripping out, man. God, everything's so worn. Zero main. Yes, this is the oil field, okay? In the oil field, they don't stop for nothing. They don't stop for any kind of preventative maintenance or anything like that. They do their drilling. They drill as fast as they can, and then they move to the next spot. B shows the direction of travel for the rod clamp when lever C was pushed forward. Okay, so it goes away from us, it looks like. C is the telescopic arm control. Oh, it's right there. Okay. And D is the pipe clamp. This guy right here. So you can see a bit of the pipe right there. So I'm still not sure where he got crushed. Review of enforcement action was completed. It was determined that the file would be referred to Alberta Justice. The entire file was sent to Alberta Justice, and charges were laid on November 29th. They were guilty of contravention of the Occupational Health and Safety Act for failure to ensure the safety of workers engaged in the work of that employer by preventing work using a broken, dysfunctional, or malfunctioning machine, or part of a machine. At sentencing, Cross Border Consulting was fined $270,000 plus $54,000 victim fine surcharge and placed on 2 years enhanced regulatory supervision. Okay. Yeah, Godzillaire's got, stopping loses money. They're just go, fast as they can. Rough way to go. Yes, Rupa. Exactly. Being crushed by anything. Like, that's terrible. Okay, this is a clean version of the machine. This is in a nice clean shop area. Like, look at that. That's a nice new machine. Yeah, Google, provided by Google Images. So they went and they looked what the machine actually looks like. I wonder if we could see something, if we could see that in action. I'm just going to check here. Just give me a minute. Let's see. Let's see if we can see it in action. I'd really like to see it in action. Okay. No music, because I don't know if it's going to be like copyright or not. Okay, there it is. Oh, they're only still images, but there's the pipe getting lifted up. So it can pass it. You can set it up and it can pass pipe right to the machine. Let's have a look at this one. Is this going to be... Once again, it's... Yeah, they just do still images. Come on, we want some action shots here. Yeah, DJ, pipe machine, you betcha. Okay, look at that. That's where you can load it all up. Like a big carousel, like it said. And this thing just goes up and grabs it. Clamps onto it, pulls it. There you go. Just pull out the next one. And you just use a belly bucket, it looks like a control, remote control. So you don't even have to get near the thing. Don't have to go anywhere near the machine and worry that it may get you. I want to see it moving. What's this here? One person operation of a drilling rig. It's not that same one, but let's see what they do. Okay, he's side drilling. He gets stopping, loses money, but it looked like they worked it past tolerance. Now they have to pay millions for the death and stop it. Yes, they do. There you go. So you put it in there like that. Use your excavator and your claw attachment. And you just add a length like that. And you take your little excavator machine and you go grab another one. Don't think I'd be tapping it with the grapple, though. They made many more millions not stopping. Yes. Also, the guys noted that they were using broken equipment. That's right there. That should be that's a red flag. Like I said at the beginning when we first read that, they noted that the thing was broken and they still went ahead and used it. Here we are. Let's say this is how you get your rod carrier around. No music, so it's okay. On track, so it can get anywhere you need to go. Pretty boring if it's just him driving it around. I mean, come on. This Dune sequel is boring. Yeah, no kidding. Do something, you guys. Come on. Give us the old thumbs up there. Okay, do we get to see this one in action? You wouldn't think it'd be so hard to find something that just shows you the operation of it. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's got it. It's clamping onto it. Takes it. I'm gonna watch this in IMAX. Needs more Jawas. OTD. Yeah, should be able to screw the two together. Yeah, there you go. And then bring it back and get another one. I don't think the Jawas would be able to hunt down this Archie. Okay, they just it's slow, but pipe is heavy. Pipe is really heavy. Okay, they're using a magnet. Looks like it. This is their machine. It deploys within minutes, looks like. You got your outriggers. You got some nice lively color. Yeah, you bet. Make it high vis. Make it so you can see it from far away. Yeah, a big stack of of pipe there. They've got 2 on there right now, but they could make a big stack. Okay, no, it's just going to be all music. They're not explaining it at all. Robotic arm lifts 1 string of rods and puts it on a support. Okay, so it just waits there. And it can go down now and get the next one. And there's a second robotic arm. Grabs it and places it on the mast. Right now he's feeding the pipe down, it looks like. Yeah, there it is. It's going down into the drill hole. This arm is grabbing the next one. And then once it reaches the end, you can stop it there. The automatic cycle is totally controlled by the operator. Would that make it not automatic then? Keeps him out of the way. Or you can use a remote control. Okay. A second operator with a panic button can pause the automated cycle whenever needed. Yeah, there you go. I feel like you have to have equal parts autism and madness to make a machine like this. Well, can you imagine? It was all... Oh, don't stare at the screen. It was all done by hand before they had something like this. That Gundam is missing a body and legs. Yeah. And a second arm. There you go. That's a rod handler, you guys. It's unfortunate that this guy got crushed by one. Yeah, oh man. Just awful. All right. Well, that's enough of accident time. Let's go to picture time. It's picture time. And I've got a new background for you guys to guess. It's more like an Evangelion effed up design and kills its operator. Yes. All right, so now pause that. Move that in a little more. That. Okay, it's time to show you guys the background picture for the day because Comic Relief Crusader guessed the last one. And I was just blown away that he got it. And it was, for you guys that don't know, it was LBX Girls. But this one, there you go. This is the new background to guess. If you guys got to guess at all. So have a good look at it. You'll see it again on Sunday Anime Chat. Taking off, Aris? Okay. Thanks for coming out. It's good to see you. Don't forget to check out Aris, you guys. He streams on YouTube as well. Lots of games he plays. No, DJ, it's not Sugo Racer. Good guess, though. Oh, pole position. Nope, not quite Veritax. Gotcha, man. No Fabric. Unicorn Sugo. Sugo Pegasus. Nope. Old DJ. Tries his best. Well, you guys will see it again on Sunday. All right. So, the title of the stream is Take Care of Your Tools. And that's something us maintenance guys, we fix equipment, but we have to make sure our stuff that we use to fix the equipment is in good shape. Hey, Michael Dorman, how you doing? Good to see you. How's things over on the island? Are you even in the right era? I'd have to check Veritax. You're guessing based on the helmet art? Is it List Goddess? No. No Fabric. Lust Goddess? No, not Lust Goddess. Drop the hex bit from your brand new tool set for your 3D printer. Oh no! Alright, so have a check this out. I'm working on the Sandblaster, and here's what the old Sandblaster gun looks like. Look at that. That is all from abrasion, from the media flowing. That thing shouldn't look like this. This hose barb. This hose barb should not look like this. The cap on the gun shouldn't look like that. And there, the ceramic tip came out. That shouldn't happen. You thought it was Speed Racer, Ketha? Not quite. And here's what a new one looks like. Look at that. That's a beauty. Brand new. That's what the hose barb should look like. Future GPX Cyber Formula. Godzillionaire gets it. Godzillionaire wins this one. 9 animes down? No! You love the smell of silica in the morning? That's why I wear my respirator when I use this machine. Good job, Godzillionaire. You got it. It is Future GPX Cyber Formula. The kaiju comes through again. Alright, so I'm hooking this thing back up now. Brand new. It should work a lot better than the old one, that's for sure. And we're just attaching all the hoses now. There's the that's the hose that the media comes out of. So the sand, as you will, for the sand blaster. Michael, are you able to get your anime anywhere else rather than 9 anime? You're just mad you missed that last week. You watched LBX Girls on my recommendation a few months ago. Did you enjoy it, Godzillionaire? Like LBX Girls for me was very enjoyable. I really liked it. Cute girls in power armor taking on, like, against all odds, taking on the enemy. This connection supplies the air for the Sandblaster. You're looking up other sites now. Good. Good man. Well, I'm going to have to get a new background now for next week. There's one called Anime Pahe. So it's ANIME, anime, and then PAHE. That's usually where I watch mine, and it's usually pretty good. Okay, so camera work is not very good because I'm trying to work on this and leaning inside the machine. But there's a twist in the hose, so I have to get that out. That's why I'm loosening this off again. Just found that? Perfect. So I don't want any twists in the hose. You got to try to keep the kinks out of the hoses. But I'll find out later on that this hose is completely worn out, and I'm gonna have to replace it. The sand did a number on the internal of this hose, and the abrasion is it ate its way right through the wall of the hose. So now I have to order another hose for this. And yeah, it's going to be another little while before I get it all up and running again. But I got the kinks taken out of it. Can't be a pimp if you can't take care of your hose. That's right, Margo. That's right. Okay, so there we go. All together now. Now, next one, I'm going to give it a try, because you have to try it out once you get it all together. Put our piece in there. This is the one that I used last week with the old sandblasting gun. And yeah, I took some of the scale off, but just check this one out. It works even way better than the old one. It really gets down, takes off that top layer. It just really gets down to the base metal. Yeah, well, yeah, real shiny Godzillionaire, yeah. But then this is where I discovered that the hose has got a crack in it, because I'm starting to lose my abrasive isn't coming out as good. You'll see, it'll start having trouble here. Is that an M22 connection on that hose? I don't know if it's an M22 fabric. I want to say it's a JIC fitting, strictly for the air. And for the abrasive, it's just a hose clamp. There we go. Now that really dug in there and took a lot of that scale off. And then we got to do the other side. Yeah, this is where it's like, it's not going that well. At your old shop, you had 12 turbine engines that sprayed metal shot at all the finished material. Wow. That would have just taken anything off. Metal shot. Yeah, that's crazy. That would have really got rid of a lot of the surface scale. Yeah, see, now I'm trying to figure out why it's not spraying. It's shooting the air, but the abrasive isn't coming out of the hole. It was nice to see such clean metal. Yeah, I bet. It's always nice to see if you can take take it down to the shiny. Yeah. See, I've lost it now. I don't realize it, but the hose has a crack in it, and it's not letting the abrasive get in. No. Now it's not taking off anything. I thought maybe it wasn't getting taking the sand and recycling it and piping it through. So I tried to give a little bit of a spray to see if it could. Hello, Sylvia. Nice to see you. Just checking over some of the work I've been doing. I did repairs on my sandblaster, but it needs more work. So yeah, I need a new hose to carry the abrasive because the old one has a big split in it. That's all right. I'm trying to see if I can't shake some in there, but nope. All right. So the last one I got is when I finally did take the hose off. So there's where the external connection of the hose goes. Look at this. This is the hose barb on the other end. That shouldn't look like that. Worn out along, like, look at that. It's eaten away part of the thread. Just from the sand flowing over it. That's the whole thing that did that, is just the movement of the abrasive. And this is just made out of brass. And it's just, look at that. Paper thin. Paper thin, and it ate away that one chunk there at the thread, but then at the back it did too. Look at that. Right through it. All with the movement of sand. And I have a special treat for you guys. For those of you that remember Brass is Too Soft, yes, it is. It is. They really shouldn't. I really should switch over to using some stainless or something like that. If I can get us a stainless hose barb. But for you guys that remember Oh, we'd love to stay, but you need some sleep. Have a good night. Okay, thanks for stopping by, Sylvia. I appreciate it. Glad you're able to stop in even for a little bit. But yeah, for those of you that remember, you guys remember Hole Through the Trouble Light? Remember Drill Hole Through the Trouble Light? You remember that. Brought to you by the same people that did Hole Through the Trouble Light. Here's key that didn't turn in the lock. Something not right here. It says rail because it's for the rail gate. So let me ask you guys, when you put a key into a lock and it doesn't turn, do you just crank on it? Do you just try to like muscle it, or do you pull it out, reset it, and shake it a little bit to see if it goes? Let me tell you, that's what this guy didn't do. So we had to go out and get some keys cut. Once again, it's like when a key doesn't turn, don't go gorilla on the thing and make it put all your power into it to try to turn that. There's a reason. Maybe it's frozen. Maybe you should bring a lighter and maybe warm up the key a bit. Maybe we should spray some WD-40 into the lock. But if something doesn't go, like sands through the hourglass, these are the days of our lives. You guys think I should make like a compilation video of all the things, like the drill hole through the trouble light, this thing, the key, some of the other stuff that I've shown you guys that these guys have broken. I should make a big compilation video. Oh dear lords. Yeah, Fabric. That's what I mean. Like, you learned how to pick locks a long time ago. It makes you appreciate patience. Yes, Michael. That's the thing. And again, how? That seems to be the question you always ask, Fabric, which is just funny in itself. It's like, oh, look what happened. And you're just like, how? I mean, it's guys just trying to muscle their way through it. It's like, your key's not turning. Maybe try again, pull it out, heat it up, do something. Spray some WD-40 on it. That's what you call a skeleton key? Yeah, because it's dead. Yeah, I couldn't believe it myself either. I don't have another video for you guys, but I got some pictures that I took today. And you're going to really love this. Usually try to turn the key with a torque wrench. Yeah. I get a set of lineman pliers and just crank on it. It's lucky the key didn't break inside the mechanism. Yes! That's the same thing too. It's like, if he would have broken it in there, now we got to go get the bolt cutters or the torch or whatever, the zip cut, and cut the lock off. Now you're looking for another lock and key to use. No, it's just, man. What do we got here? Is that what we're looking for? No, that's not what we're looking for. I think this is it here. There we go. This is, I know it might be hard to see, but this is the snow blade, the snow pusher we use. And sure enough, after a season of use, we've got cracks. cracks in it. These are going to have to be cut out and welded. That's one. I tried to get a shot from underneath. You can sort of see it right there. And there's on the other side. Another crack. And this one's right beside the weld, which is usually what happens because the heat when welding, usually the welds don't crack themselves. It's usually beside the welds because of the heat. So it's going to be a bunch of our snowblade's going to have to get fixed up and welded for next season. And that wasn't a very good picture either. But yeah, there you go. There's crack there and crack there. And there might be more. I have to go look. This was just a cursory view along the outside, but I have to get around and underneath and have a look and see if there's anywhere else that's damaged badly. As a welding inspector, that makes you sad. Welds are usually stronger than the parent metal. Yes. Yes, and that's what I was saying. The welds usually don't break. It's the beside the metal, or beside the weld will break. But yeah, we're going to need to do that. Send it out. Get some welding done. And I can show you guys later what it looks like when it's all done. Might have to beef up a few things. Make it a bit stronger because that thing is just getting destroyed every season we use it. I had to do welding last season and looks like this season as well. Well, all right. I think we're going to wrap her up there, fellas. I just want to thank everybody that came by today. It was great seeing you all. You guys make it so we have such a fun time here in good old Trades Talk. I hope to see you guys when I'm streaming again, which will be on the weekend. Like on Saturday and on Sunday. Saturday, I'm picking a new game to play because I finally finished Odin Sphere. So the new game, well, we're still in the deciding stages. I've got a bit time to still decide. So it's going to be a toss-up between Magic Knight Rayearth and Trails in the Sky for the PSP. And Magic Knight Rayearth will be for the Sega Saturn. So if you guys could, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, tell your friends, spread the word. I'm slowly getting my way up to 1,000 subs, with a lot of thanks to Sylvia and Comic Relief Crusader, all you guys that have, told people to come by. You got 23 yesterday? What did we get up to today? Let me just check here. I'm going to say, well, it's 13 right now, so that's pretty good, Michael, but I think we got up to at least 19. So that's not bad. And tomorrow, what's it supposed to be tomorrow? High of 5 and raining. So, yeah, Ketha, almost 1,000. Very soon. I'm quite excited. I can't wait. It'd be nice to reach that milestone. On Sunday Anime Chat, we're going to continue on with more 90s anime. Come on out and let's watch some anime from the 90s, some classics, some hidden gems, some you might not know about. Tell me yours. Tell me what animes you like from the 90s. And I can always add them to my watch list. And then we're back here on Tuesday again for Trades Talk Tuesday. More of the same. Looking at things from an industrial point of view. We'll look at the skilled trades. We'll look at anything that you guys want to submit. I'm okay with, just on my Discord or by Twitter, just point things out to me. Hey, look at this. This is something interesting we should look over. And yeah, we'll do it. But when I'm not streaming, you might want to check out some of these other guys, like Pacific 414 or DJ Ronnie DG, who is in the chat. You can check him out. He does some pretty cool shows, especially the Monday show on Thursday. There's Brandon the Anime Guy, who we talked about earlier. There's Kyle at the RNG Podcast. He stopped by. He was playing some games. He's feeling a bit under the weather, so hopefully he feels better. There's also Whoopa. He usually does Whoopa Wednesdays. I've seen him playing. So Whoopa, if you're still there, let me know if you're going to be whooping it up on Wednesday. Thanks, Michael. I'll try to keep up the hard work. You betcha, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Oh yeah, and don't forget Infinite Metal. He should be streaming right now, actually, on Kick and Twitch. I always have a fun time. I have a good laugh watching Infinite Metal play some retro games. And then there's a VTuber called Call Me Kixie. She's on YouTube as well as Twitch. She streams on Saturdays. And she's very warm, welcoming, family-friendly, like really, really nice person to talk to. And she plays indie games, and man, is there a lot of indie games out there. But she shows a lot of them to us, and some of them are really interesting and fun to play. So yeah, that's going to be it for me tonight, everyone. You just remembered Blackjack is an anime from the 90s, a cute lad with half white hair. Yeah, I remember Blackjack. Yeah, I've heard of that. I don't think I've watched it, but I remember it. I'm going to be watching, right now, for anime, we're watching Fire Force. Me and Mrs. Mechanic are watching Fire Force. And I'm watching Lupin the Third, Part 2 on Tubi. So getting in my old school anime with Lupin and watching some modern stuff because Godzillionaire, everyone's favorite kaiju, said I should watch Fire Force. And you know what? We're really liking it. We're moving our way. We're on episode 19. So we're almost through season 1 of Fire Force. So man, what a great show. I'm liking it. Whoopa, the jury's still out. You're a bit tired. Plus, you're all into Pragmata right now. Oh, okay. That's okay, Whoopa. I just wanted to give you a shout out in case you were. You know, I want people to stop by and visit you when you're playing. Pragmata is very pragmatic. Yes, DJ. Yes. Or programmatic. Whatever it is, it's good. Apparently it's good, I hear. A little bit too new for me. Get your votes in though, guys. Vote Magic Knight Rayearth or Trails in the Sky. Jeez, I forgot it. Get your votes in. Oh, Pacific 404 is into Pragmata right now too. There you go. You guys can go visit Mike. Tell him I said hi. Anyways, that's going to be it for me tonight, everyone. I appreciate you coming by. I hope you had fun because I had fun putting the show on, and I hope you had fun being here. It's always great to talk to you guys about, the trades, things going on out there in the world with the job market and all that. I really have a great time. I hope you guys do too, and I hope you'll join me the next time I'm streaming, which will be Saturday. But in the meantime, until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.